Welcome back to another video. We're doing another DCA video. Just a quick update. SBTC is going to be on the mainnet December 16th. That's about 2 weeks from now. SBTC is going to be big. SBTC is basically like a way of bringing Bitcoin in a native way to the Stacks chain, from layer 1 to layer 2 in a like very, like Lightning does, like all these others do. You can represent Bitcoin in a much faster way, and then you can like peg out native to where or how Stacks works. It's an amazing upgrade, and it's going to allow for a whole bunch of new utility for Bitcoin, adding moving Bitcoin on chain, off chain, and just generally the flow of Bitcoin, but also how much Bitcoin's coming on to Stacks. Because as you know, the Stacks ecosystem is built around Bitcoin for opportunities to deploy and use Bitcoin. So this is going to be huge. Now, meanwhile, lots of other things are happening. Dennis Porter's making moves. He's always on the phone talking to people, maybe meeting them. This one he's saying he just got off the call. He always says something like this. He's just got off on a call with someone big. And you know that when he meets someone, it's someone important. He's been in the ears of everyone who's either directly in the ears of the president all the way to the president himself. So, big countries, big institutions, they're all listening. They're trying to reach out to this guy. A lot of things are happening in the Stacks ecosystem. I've been seeing some, engagement posts like these, bigger people, crypto people starting to notice, shout out, talk about, recognize Stacks. That is a sign, if I've ever seen one. There's been a huge accumulation going on. Today was interesting, but let's look at the last month. So we last were on the 17th-ish, maybe. Stacks was nearly, $1.92, $1.90 to, a little bit higher than that. Now we're at 238. We hit 240 sometime earlier today. Yeah, Stacks is ripping. Bitcoin also doing fairly well. I think we were like 10% difference last time. Now we're at 97. We hit 99.8 something somewhere. And the ecosystem is growing. Bitcoin DeFi is growing. Wendy calls it the sleeping giant. We see Bitcoin growing in a way that we see other tech booms happen, right? It starts with, a kind of those who get it, and just accumulate as much as they can, kind of say nothing while they keep accumulating more and more people get it. And, that kind of, domino effect is huge. So something that we see on the other hand with certain assets like gold, its flaws start to, shine a little bit more. And, we start seeing stories like these where we find massive amounts of gold that currently weren't priced in, weren't in circulation, weren't there for, some usable party, and it just kind of fell into the graces. It's a huge deal when the supply changes for an asset that's, your currency is tied to, no matter who brings in that supply. And that's why we come back to Bitcoin. And as we are, moving on to a more digital age and more interplanetary and, moving out into space, your money has to be tied to something that is tangible, of value. And, people who are just going to other, planets, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, I don't know, they won't be able to bring gold with them. It's just not feasible. They're not going to be transacting with gold certificates either. It's going to have to be with Bitcoin. And the fundamental idea now is, how are you going to acquire Bitcoin for your country? Because in 150 years from now, you're going to need to power, your economy on Mars. Um, and Bitcoin DeFi and stacks is definitely a way to do that. We're talking about everything from Bitcoin yield to the DeFi on top of stacks to how the stacks chain is built to be almost in line in tandem with Bitcoin. So I've also been looking at it another way. When you talk about decentralized systems that have, a good use, adoption, growth, and particularly systems that have scarce assets like Bitcoin and like stacks. Fundamentally, those scarce assets with such high utility, such high purpose, become one of the most important assets, especially when there's incessant amounts of printing. The US, slowly but surely, has to keep lowering rates and print money. And you can look at the way they print money, how they print money is they just need to, they have to. But what's really interesting and what people aren't pricing in is how much they have to cut rates. And the reason that they're mispricing this is because they have this feeling that the Fed can just keep stringing them along, maybe extend it a little bit, maybe just not cut as much, and they might be fine. When in reality, the need for jobs in the U.S., the need for stimulus, is so great that the pressure that's being put on, the people, companies in general, it's gonna be insane, and it can't go on too long. Is the main point. And the reason it can't go on too long is because it slows the growth of innovation, especially when other countries are printing and buying Bitcoin and maintaining their GDP or even growing their GDP. And so that kind of growth, you can't underestimate this. And Bitcoin is one of those assets where if you have, a fixed supply and its utility and its use case fundamentally is tied to, what is the value of money, you're going to need a little bit of it. Now, building on Bitcoin, uh, let's talk about our DCA, which is the whole point of this video. So obviously we got about 25 stacks here. We're going to put in another 25 stacks this time. I think best way to do this. So let's look at the charts a bit. So Alex is up 10% in the day, 25% in the week. Wow. So if you put all of your net worth in Alex, you'll be up 25% in this last week. Think about that. Now obviously let's not talk about, what the ups and the downs, but if you got in at the right time, everything is looking good. Look at this beautiful chart. Now, obviously we've just broken past this. It's like what do they call that? A cup and handle. And, if we're taking a look at their counterpart, let's go to the watch list. Their counterpart that I like to also look at. Oh, where's Velar? Do I have Velar in here? Velar is down 3%. Seems like an opportunity to me. We want, now Rue is up massively. It's up 30% over the month and 5% over the day. Stone's up 2%, but it's up 45% over the month. That's sneaky. So is Skull. Wow. Okay. All right. Volume's looking interesting though. Okay. Hello, Stone. Yeah, no, this is very interesting. So, obviously we do want to buy some things that have gone down, but not just because they've gone down. there's no point in breaking the scarcity mindset. We want to focus on um, both the weight in the number of tokens, but also the price at which we're kind of getting them. No, you guys don't have to worry about that. That I'm keeping in the back of my mind. The reality is, what is something that's going up in value that I know I'm gonna have enough of when we hit what I would believe to be, whether it's this cycle, next cycle, I think we're gonna get to a point where it all comes back to Bitcoin. And I think it's important to get in now onto some of those tokens that are more in line with Bitcoin's ethos and have an early head start with developers, with communities, with real builders. So I think the first thing we're going to do, we're definitely going to buy some Velar. That might be a really good buy. Now, just to balance that out, I think we're also going to buy some Alex. So we'll put 5 in Alex, 5 in Velar. I think the obvious one here is looking at the 30-day change, because especially ones that have been very consistent, Pepe is very interesting. Pepe's growth, what makes me feel like there's the profit taking going on. Hello. What happened there? That happened the day after. And it went, oh, we nearly doubled in price. Now this was just, I imagine, on the Velar exchange, maybe? Yeah. And what about the Alex exchange? Yeah, there too. Yeah, interesting. So, I mean, there was the huge buy up and sell off. Let's look at the holdership. It's 20 billion tokens. Not the worst. Um, it's one of those things where you're a little bit worried sometimes, but in reality, maybe it's just in my head. What's the liquidity? 10%, basically. Yeah. I think it's the liquidity issue that people are looking at there, which isn't really an issue. 10% is not bad. But for, incredibly massive sells later on, just don't do that, which most people aren't clearly. Um, thinking, so Velar, Alex, we take a look at, uh, we want some go. So then we look at the market cap. 200K market cap is really juicy. And for these kind of gains especially, makes you wonder. Yeah, we're definitely going to pick up some skull. Under 1 million market cap, we'll get some stone. Rue crossed over 1 million in just its liquidity. So Rue's liquidity, it's something to admire there. Moist doesn't have any change over the day. 6-hour volume, $8. 1-day volume, $8. 7 days, $1,000. I mean, let's look at the volume for this. On the low end for moist and dry. Don't know if I want to DCA into them. Back to the 30-day change. So we go skull. Maybe we do stone too because it's under 1M. And what else is under 1M? Start with that. Peanut. Rock. Moist. Now, rock holds a special place in my heart, and I kind of just want to put one in, so I'll put one in. Fair. Fair, I definitely gonna buy. There's no real rhyme or reason, just the idea that they were the first token to pass through STX cities, stack cities, bonding curve program. That holds some weight. I'm not going to say it's the token of Stack City, but, it's definitely got some sentimental, some symbolic value. 63K market cap, total liquidity, nearly half. Yeah, so we'll get some fair as well. Fair, skull, stone, Valor, Alex. Yeah, I think that works. And I think what we should do here is just kind of high roll into them as the name suggests. So let's refresh this. So we'll just put in big bulking buys of 5. Sound good? 5 STX here. Let Bigfoot calculate the best swap rates. I don't think you can see this. Okay, so that's Alex. We'll do Valor next. If any of these fail, I'll try to redo them with whatever I have. 5 here. Buying the dip, as they say. Valor going down is always a blessing. You can buy a little bit more. Alex going up kind of just validates the thesis a little bit in how important it is to be buying into certain assets like these very high value utility apps that will probably be the future of Bitcoin itself. And this is something I don't take lightly, which is why I'm doing this now. You want to get in very early, right? Because these aren't like stocks where they just keep issuing more stocks. Not really. If they do, it's like incredibly, incredibly rare and unlikely. And it's probably not even up to them. So we'll do 5 of stone. Get this in quick. Now again, what's very interesting about Bitfall, they will route it through different tokens if they need to. They have this different, what, thousands, millions of different routes going on, between tokens that they've set up, and then this like large contract to kind of monitor it. It's very interesting stuff. Get 5 of this, 5 fair, $5 or 5 stacks of fair. And what am I missing? Valor, Alex, Stone, fair, and Skull Coin. That was the last one. And this basically gives me another set of diversifications, but a heavier load into tokens that are, going up, that have hard value, that I think are, putting in some effort. This is very interesting. Got a slightly higher valuation there. Don't know how they're calculating that price, but I do look at the number I'm getting back, and 1,000 looks right. And just about, let's see what's going up here. Okay, so yeah, I put really, really, really low fees, so I'm not surprised if some of them haven't gone through. But okay, some of them have gone through. Maybe these just haven't updated. But looking at this, yeah, looking at just the portfolio, some of these have updated already. Let's see from this. Okay, yeah, so some of these, let's see, one's left, yeah, which would make sense. Okay, and so we did all of them, but what we need to know now is our weighting. So yeah, clearly Alex is, doing well. We got about, I think Alex and Velar have the same total supply, so keeping in line is always nice. Stone looking good. There's 21 million stone, and this is, getting us closer to that 1K. Really happy with that. Fair, I think the fair market cap was 1 billion, or not 1 billion. Circulating supply was 10 billion, and we got 2 million. Now, to put that in perspective, if you had like 500,000 Welsh right now, that would give you maybe like $1,000, $800. So, a million Welsh is, basically $2,000. It's, it's, it's possible that this can get to that kind of, evaluation going forward. If not to the market cap Welsh is right now, maybe even where all those memes are going in the future. Um, and just to give you an example, when we bought, um, Welsh before, you only got nearly 1,000, right? With the one stacks buy, Welsh is down a bit, but as you do. Actually, Welsh would have been a great buy now that I think about it, because the purpose of today's video was to buy things that are more sure to go up and less risky, but, you know, close on the curve towards, just the core of Bitcoin. And Welsh is actually really on that, but maybe next time. So again, thanks for watching. We covered quite a bit. We covered Bitcoin, we covered stacks, we covered, where the market's going to go, and, why we see a lot of things coming to Bitcoin recently in the last week, in the next 2 weeks. Bitcoin is going to be experiencing some things. In December, we're going to see SBTC drop. We're going to see a bunch of things, even in December alone. Countries adoption, Microsoft's meeting with Michael Saylor presenting. In January, the FASB rules are going to change, I think. Companies are going to be happy to be listing Bitcoin on their balance sheet. A lot of things are going to be, so much more cohesive with, pushing Bitcoin, propelling it, going forward. So if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, tell me what you bought on stacks. Tell me, don't show me your favorite coin as this is the best coin. Just tell me what you bought. If you guys enjoyed these kind of videos, these dollar cost average videos, then just hit the notification bell, because I'll try to keep making these. I mean, this was 2 weeks, so maybe I'll do another one 2 weeks from now. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.